Alright, so this is our first unit that we are going to do in civil trigonometry. So you're going to be learning about SOA, we're going to be learning about Pythagorean theorem, cosine law, and sine law. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is right angle triangles. So let's define some, or let's go back and review some terminologies here. Right angle triangles have what kind of angle?
90 degrees.
A 90 degree angle, right? One of the angles is a 90 degree angle. When you're looking at any triangle, no matter what kind of triangle it is, the sum of all the angles inside of the triangle is, what's the sum of the angles, the interior angles of the triangle?
180.
180. Right? No matter what kind of triangle we have, they're going to add up to 180 degrees. Now, when we have a triangle, right, and especially when we have a right angle triangle, there is a special way that we name the sides and the angles. So, the angles, we use capital letters to name them. So, it'll be A, B, C. And as you can see, I use capital letters to name the angles. Now, when it comes to the sides, we use lowercase letters. And this is how we usually name them. So let's say this is angle C, right? The side that's across from it is named lowercase c. Okay? So I name this side C. And I name this side A and this side B. So the side should match, the name of the side should match the angle across from it. Now, as you can see, I named the right angle triangle angle C. And there was a reason for that. So the right angle, I named it angle C. Why is that? It has to do with this. Do you guys remember what Pythagorean theorem is? What is it?
C squared equal to
A squared
root
plus
plus
B squared. Right?
I know it.
So, C squared, or C, is the hypotenuse. Okay? It has to be the hypotenuse. Okay? And just so I match this to this, that's why I named my right angle triangle C. My right angle is C. Okay? So this is what happens. C is the hypotenuse. Okay? And it's always going to be the hypotenuse. And then the other two are the lengths. Okay? So when I'm trying to find the hypotenuse squared equals to the two sides squared, added together. Okay? Let's look at an example. I'm gonna add a page here, and I'm gonna make a right angle triangle. And let's do this. So this is, let's say, a 3, and this is a 4, and I want to find what this is. Okay? So whenever I have this case, I have a right angle triangle, check, right? And I have two sides, and I'm looking for the third, so I have to use a Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So this is what I have. So I have right triangle, two sides, looking for third side. Okay? If I have all these three, then I can use Pythagorean theorem, which states that c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Right? What side am I looking for? I'm looking for c, right? This is a, and this is b, right? And I'm looking for c. So what I have to do, I have to plug in the values of a in a, and the value of b in b. And I get c squared, right? Now, what I have so far is c squared. I need to find c. What do I have to do?
Square root.
Square root, right? Because the opposite operation of square is square root, so that will be c equals 5, and I'm done. Okay? Now remember that I must have the three check things, right? I must have a right angle triangle, and I must have two sides and looking for the third to be able to use that Pythagorean theorem. Now what if I have this case? And I'm asking you to find the side. I'm looking for it.
B squared equals to c squared.
A squared minus c squared. No, c squared, sorry, but c squared is big.
Yeah. The base.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, check, it's a right angle triangle. Two sides are given, check. Looking for the third, check. So I can use Pythagorean theorem, right? But in this case, I know C. I am looking for B. So I have to isolate for that B. Correct? So isolating for that B means I have to bring the A squared over. By bringing the A squared over, what does it become? Negative A squared. And this is where a lot of people, including the 11s and the 12s, they still do that mistake. Correct?
I'm not here. I'm not here.
You're not here. You're not looking at me.
I'm not here.
Okay, we can't do this mistake. You bring over the A squared. You're always remember your hypotenuse is your largest side. Otherwise, you're gonna get a negative number, and you're gonna come to me and you're like, I can't square root a negative number. I know you've done something wrong. Go back and check. I'm not gonna tell you that. Okay?
Alright.
Scenarios, true scenarios.
Or
right?
1 point something, and you can root it.
Okay, so c squared is 5 squared. Take away 3 squared equals to b squared. So that's 25, take away 9, and that is 16. And then again, I have to square root 16, which is 4. Right? So my final answer is 4. Okay? So the scenario here is I have two sides. I'm looking for the third, it's right angle triangle. I have to use Pythagorean theorem. There's 3 different versions of it, right? If you look at this yellow sheet right here, c squared equals a squared plus b squared, and then I give you the other versions of it. Okay? But you should know and should be able to isolate. This should come to you naturally. Okay? For your isolate. Are we done with this? Okay. So remember that Pythagorean theorem can only be used if you're looking for the third. Now, when I have a right angle triangle, I have three ratios that I can use, okay, to solve for a side or an angle. Okay, so if you remember that, again, you must have a right angle triangle. We call these the primary, I forgot to, oops. We call them the primary trigonometric ratio. Okay? So when you see the word primary trigonometric ratio, I mean sine, cosine, and tan. So when you have a right angle triangle, you're always looking for the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, and you're looking for the angle of interest, correct? So, or we call it the focus, the angle of focus. So, when we're looking at the angle of focus, which is in this case, I'm gonna go over this in a bit, so just bear with me. What does SOHCAHTOA stand for? What's sine theta? What's the formula for it?
Opposite over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse. And opposite over adjacent.
And where are you guys getting this from?
From the sheet.
From that sheet, sure.
The cheat sheet.
Okay. It also comes from, that's what SOHCAHTOA stands for, right?
Yeah.
O, which is opposite, H is a hypotenuse, right? Ka, cosine, is adjacent over hypotenuse, so we're using the first letter, right? So if you look at this, right? And tan is opposite over adjacent. Okay? Are you guys okay with this? Now these formulas are going to be given to you. You don't have to memorize them. We do have a booklet with all the formula sheets. But the thing is, you need to know which one to use, right? And to be able to use the correct one, you need to be able to name your triangle correctly. Because naming your triangle correctly is half the battle. If you name it wrong, guess what? You're going to pick the wrong formula, and your answer is going to be wrong, and we're not going to be happy. So, the one that you always want to use to name first is the hypotenuse, because it's the easiest one that you can name, right? It's the longest side, it's the one across from the 90 degrees. Okay, so if you look at this, the hypotenuse is always the one that's across from your 90 degrees. Okay? Now the other two, the opposite and the adjacent, they change depending on the angle of focus or the angle of interest. So if you look at this, this is your angle of interest right here. Okay, it's given to you. Angle of interest is the angle that's given to you or that you need to look for, you need to find. So angle of interest, this is its opposite side, right? It's the side that's across from it, so I call it opposite, and that's why it's labeled as O. If you look at this one, your opposite side is right here, so that's why this is the opposite. Okay? It all depends on your angle of focus. Okay? And then right away, the third side is going to be your adjacent. Okay? So name the hypotenuse first. It's the easiest one. Name the opposite second because that's the one across from your right angle from your angle of focus. Then the third one will come, like you have no other options. Okay? Are you guys okay with this? Naming the triangle. Okay. Now, steps to find a side measure. Okay? So the question is going to be, you have a right angle triangle, right? You have an angle, let's say whatever, right? You have a side, let's say whatever that side is, so let's say 5, okay? And I'm asking you to find the third side. This is the scenario that we're gonna see, okay? So you have an angle, you have a side, and you're looking for the third side. So when you have these cases, these are the steps. Label the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse sides according to the angle of interest. So first thing, label your triangle. After that, you're going to choose which trig ratio to use, given the sides you have and want. Right? You have to decide, am I using sine, am I using cos, or am I using tan? Which one I'm using? And that's depending on what's given to you and what you need to find. Write the formula, substitute values into the formula, solve with your calculator, round side length to the nearest tenth. Side length has to be to 1 decimal place in trigonometry. I don't know how many times I get asked that question. This is the rule. Okay? Unless the question specifies otherwise, you're going to leave your side length to 1 decimal place in trigonometry. Okay? Let's look at a question. So, make sure that your calculator is in degree mode, please. So take out your calculator and make sure they're in degree mode. So it should say D or DG at the top, or it should not say anything. One of the. So the question is saying, find the measure of side P if angle P is 60 degrees. Okay? So what kind of triangle is this? Right angle. Right? Angle P is 60, so I'm going to include it right here. And I need to find side P. Where's side P? So this is side P, right? Good. Now, let's label our triangle with the magic letters O, P, O, whatever, A, and H. Where is your hypotenuse? That's right. 225 is your hypotenuse. Okay? What's my angle of interest? Right? Because that's the one that's given to me. Right? So this is my angle of interest. Now, what's my opposite? Which one is my opposite? Right? And then right away that tells me that this is my interest. Okay? So far I named my triangle. Good. I like it. Now, tell me, what do I know and what am I looking for?
We knew the angle.
Okay.
We knew the hypo. We were looking. Sorry. Yeah. Hypo. We are looking for opposite. So
Good.
We should use hypo over. We should use sine.
That's right. So it's opposite over hypo. Good. Good. So I'm gonna write it. You guys don't have to write it, but I'm gonna write it so you know what we were thinking about when you go back and look at this. I know the hypotenuse. I'm looking for the opposite. So out of this, which one includes the H and the O? Sine. Right? So because sine includes the H and the O, I'm going to use that. So let's write the formula, because remember, after you do that, you have to write the formula. So sine, the angle, equals to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Now, you see where that angle theta is? You're going to replace it with a given angle. So that's going to be sine 60 equals to opposite over 225. Okay? Now, if I'm looking for the top, what do I have to do? How do I solve for it? Cross multiply. Okay? So I have to cross multiply, so that's going to be opposite equal to 225 times sine 60. And what is your answer? What is it? 194.6. Excuse me. And that will be feet because my units are feet. All right. So you see the process that I went through? This is basically what you should do when you're solving these kind of questions. Yes?
So, on my calculator, the answer is 194.85. So would that be 0.9 or
That should be
that
0.9 if it's 0.85. You know too? That's right. So remember that we have to round up if the number after this is 5 or higher. All right, so I'm gonna introduce the next question to you, and then I'm gonna leave you with it to solve it. Now this question is asking you to find the measure of side B if angle A is 74. Now I know this picture is not very clear and it's not very upscale. This is your right angle right here. Okay, this is 74. We're looking for side B. Where's side B?
It's hypotenuse. What's the hypotenuse? The one across.
So it's this one.
Yeah.
This is not the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is where? Where's the hypotenuse?
This is the one in the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the hypotenuse
Right
right
here.
here.
I do look at the angle of focus.
Yeah, this is the angle. So now name the rest, because this is your angle of focus. Name the rest, okay? And solve it.